And hello and welcome everybody. And sorry for this slight delay, but we really wanted to prepare ourselves because it's the same day as usual, as every week. It's the GameSwift Townhall Day, and today, together with you, with me, besides Pan Paragraph visiting us as usual, we have Lucas Professore coming in to touch some really important topics for all of us. Hello, guys.
Hello guys. Nice to be here. Finally, you don't need to say that I'm coming back because now I am like regular guest, I'm like one and on. And today, guys, is a very important town hall. It's a very important life for me personally, because after like the unsuccessful or like let's say not necessarily life-changing distribution of Dogginhood airdrop, there is the new inflow of the comments from you guys who feel a little bit disappointed that you expected a bigger airdrop. This drives kind of the, let's say, negative sentiment, and we are here to address it. Since there was kind of the negative sentiment, there are a lot of questions about the roadmap, about the token utility, about a lot of things. So this video is supposed to be the video which you can use as a tool to send to anyone asking those questions. What I want to say that I really appreciate your support, guys, because in the last couple of days, when you entered the Discord, you came across a lot of criticism, which was like driven by the Dogginhood airdrop. However, you still like tried to defend us, to become our advocates. So in this video we are supposed to provide you with the tool to send to anyone asking those questions, to address all of those concerns. And to be very specific, all of the questions that we are going to ask today are coming directly from the committee. Michael Sky, our committee manager, he gathered all of those questions, and this is exactly what we are going to address. There is not a single question coming from us. We asked you what you want to know, and we are going to answer today. So thank you guys, but I have one small request to you by the end of this live. In my opinion, the sentiment around crypto projects is very important. When you are a new newcomer, and I expect that there are going to be a lot of newcomers since the bull market is accelerating, you want to join the community who is like in the positive atmosphere. And this is exactly why we want to clear this atmosphere by this live. So this is the live where we address all of those tough questions, but from now on we want to move on. So we want to focus on the next airdrops, on our blockchain mainnet going live, on what we are doing, but and not on what we are not doing. So that's the goal, and I hope that after this live we will all move on, and we are going to make GameSwift great again. Thank you.
Thanks for this very introduction. So let me be the voice of many people from our community that actually spend some time to prepare the questions, because we know that you want to ask a lot about the marketplace and the tokens and airdrops and many stuff. We just sorted it out, get it all on a nice sheet of paper, virtual paper right now for me, and I will be trying to go from topic to topic. It, guys, just for you to know, it won't be me directly attacking you with questions. I want to go with as a smooth discussion coming in, just with some topics suggested by our community. So let's start with the first one that in my opinion is the most important one, and we had many similar topics to this one. What about the mainnet? We heard that it was really ready to go, but we are still waiting for the right moment. Did something happen? Some technical difficulties? Why are we experiencing a delay? I do believe that Pen, you tried to explain a little bit last weeks, but maybe today is the good time to summarize it all.
Obviously. So let me recap one more time. So yeah, we've been working on our modular blockchain for a very long time. We started to develop it upon the of course zk EVM Polygon infrastructure. But at some point, when we start to observe that Polygon is losing the traction, we had to make a very unpopular decision to pivot into the OP stack, into the Optimus. And as we can see now, this turned out to be a good decision. One more time, our anticipation process and due diligence went well. However, this led to some delays into our development. That was sometimes it's better to instead of rushing with doing something weak, it's better to postpone and delay it, but do something really good. And that's exactly the case of pivoting into Optimus ecosystem, into totally different infrastructure, which is optimistic rather than zk EVM. And from the perspective of the time, we are very happy with the decision because we received also a great support from the Optimus ecosystem. We are in direct cooperation with their BD team. They are like encouraging a lot of projects to use our infrastructure, and that's a win-win situation. That's the first thing. The second thing is since we pivoted into the Optimus, we pretty quickly delivered what we were supposed to deliver. However, due to the let's say bearish, very bearish market sentiment, we didn't want to start in this sentiment. Like I said, we are waiting for a better market sentiment on Bitcoin, so we put our blockchain on hold. And we wanted to be back once the sentiment will be better. And we feel like the sentiment, and I think we all agree, the sentiment is becoming much better for the crypto. That's why we are going to run our blockchain within next few days. Uh, Unfortunately, I cannot give you the exact date. This is the development, and I don't want to be very specific, but this is the matter of days, not months. Please bear it in mind that the first step is to put this blockchain into the private mode. That's very important for the implementation from the layer 0. So we will be not able to interact with this blockchain at this stage. So once our blockchain will go live within next days, you will not be able to interact. It is mostly due to the fact that we need to integrate with Stargate and Layer 0. And probably the next question will be regarding this Layer 0. So I am going to address it in the next question because I have the alpha. I know what is the next question. But from your perspective and for the perspective of this question, you need to know that after going live with the blockchain in the private mode, layer 0 needs 6 weeks to integrate with it. That's why I expect the blockchain to go in the public mode by the end of this year. I hope that this was very specific and that you are going to appreciate it.
Oh, I most certainly do appreciate your honesty. We know that the process sometimes lasts regardless of our work, and we need to wait for some partners to do their job. And speaking of partners, I got a question of why and who would be using and integrate with GS chain and not the other chains. So could you guys please specify why building on GS chain is a good way sometimes to do so and not choosing a different chain.
I'm sorry, but I see that you skipped the next question, which in my opinion is very important. And this question regards this layer 0 thing. And the next
Oh
question
yeah.
from our community was like, why layer 0 couldn't integrate this earlier, right?
Oh yeah.
So this is pretty simple. So we had to start with the private blockchain to let layer 0 integrate with it because they cannot operate on something which is not live. At the same so we could passively run the blockchain, the public mode right now, but that would mean that you cannot breach your assets into this chain. Also, the delay from for this agreement was connected with a very long legal procedure. Layer Zero is a very big company. Don't get me wrong, I really appreciate their support, but they have a very long procedure in terms of the agreement process, and this took some time to deliver. At the same time, we are very proud to cooperate with the most popular and the most efficient bridge across the crypto space. Yes, they need 6 weeks. This is not a very easy process to integrate with new blockchain. The good thing is that we convince them to integrate with the blockchain that is new. This means that Layer Zero appreciate GameSwift, that they don't treat as kind of the dead chain. They see potential in it because they want to monetize, of course, they bridge. So that's a very good thing for from the perspective of our community, that like the biggest bridge observe, see, notice like a very big potential in our chain. But please be aware that across all technical problems, across all of them, bridges are the most critical. When I when you ever came across some hacks, some exploits, and you see some protocols are exploited, it is mostly about the bridges. So we don't want Layer Zero to rush here. They need 6 weeks, and guys, we need to give them this 6 weeks because we don't want anything to go wrong within this process, because blockchain bridge is the most critical part of the infrastructure. I think that this clarifies everything.
Yeah, now I do believe that explains everything to the fullest. Sorry, I just thought that you already mentioned the layer zero thing in the previous question, but it's all right. Now we have even more information about this. So back to the chain, back to the reason of why to build on GS chain. Do we have any specifics about this? I'm going to be asking about projects later on. So just your quick and simple explanation of, is it worth it?
Yes, I really like the original version of this question, because like our committee member was very specific with this regard. He answered that why should anyone integrate with GameSwift chain instead of, for example, another modular blockchain which is bigger, like Celestia or any other chain? And yes, I agree with it. Like, this is a very natural question. And the way how I want to address it is also very, very important and very simple. So let me recap. We are not the project who raised like hundreds of millions of dollars. We are not another Celestia, definitely. We are controlling a much lower budget, and this is exactly why we are on the much lower valuation. Let me repeat. But as far as I remember, Celestia and TIA is sitting on almost $5.6 billion FDV, $2.1 billion market cap. That's a great benchmarking to what we are doing right now. So of course we raised less, but we try to achieve, like, let's say, similar outcome, right? That's the first big thing. Another thing, and this is something which is coming from the book, what I really recommend you to read. It's called Positioning. And in this book, the author of this book presented a very interesting example of the car rental company. And the car rental environment was like very, let's say, competitive. So there was a Hertz, which is the biggest car rental company, and the marketing department of the second biggest company, Avis, tried to, let's say, convince and to find the market thing. market fit, and they really struggle to do so because like Hertz was promoting that, yeah, we are bigger, we are the biggest, we are bigger than Abyss, we are bigger than anyone, so come to us, right? It's similar to like Celestia here, right? And Abyss was in a very similar position like GameSwift. So what they started to do is that they realized that, okay, we are not the biggest, but this is exactly why we try harder. And this is also my question, except from the fact that, yes, we are not like big like Celestia, and this is like having merits in the evaluation. But if I try to convince any protocol to build on GameSwift chain instead of Celestia, usually I say that, hey guys, you can build on Celestia or any other modular ecosystem, and you can be one of the hundreds of or thousands of protocols. But instead, what I recommend you to do is to be one of the few, because we try harder. We can put much more time into the support, into your promotion. We also have a very passionate community because, let's be honest, what is the key argument for anyone to convince any protocol to build here? It's not always about us, but it is also about you, the community. And I think that we both agree that you are very passionate. Of course, when something goes wrong, you are also very passionate about it. But even in our, let's say, disbelief territory, you still stand by ourselves. You try to defend us, and this is what is convincing the other protocols to cooperate with us. This is kind of the win-win scenario. But to recap, we really try harder, and we provide much more or a very in-depth support. Usually when you build on another chain, you need to go for the very, like, nobody cares about you. You just deploy your smart contracts and that's it. Here in GameSwift, our marketing department, our BD team, our developers team have a regular calls with you, try to provide you regular feedback, try to find out how we can make some marketing campaign to introduce you to our community, what else we can do in order to make you succeed. And this is a very, let's say, unpopular approach. Most of the blockchains, and that's the feedback of the projects building with us, that, hey guys, I stay with GameSwift, I like you, and I prefer you, because you really try harder. You are always by our request, you are always available. You try to put a lot of additional value. You are like our advisors, and that's not the case with any other ecosystem. Like, for example, while building on Ethereum, we are not having regular calls with Vitalik. I think that you know what I mean.
All right, that explains a lot about the reasons and the possibilities of building on the chain that's coming in, as we heard before, rather shortly. I wanted to hear more about the topic of modular blockchain. You know, for example, like how many projects contacted you that they want to use the solution and build on your chain? Could you please tell us a little bit of alpha? How many projects? What are these type of projects besides Star Heroes? Because we heard of it. The community seems like really wants to know the answers, not just the overall numbers. But can you precisely describe how many and name a few?
Yeah, so we have like 15, I believe 15 around projects which are already committed in building in on the GameSwift chain. So that's the number, and we are also in contact with many other projects. Like, I think like we are right now in contact, in deep, I would say, conversation with around 10 projects, and this is it. But at the same time, I think like the blockchain itself will be permissionless once we are going, public live. So there will be also other projects. I hope that our community members would be also happy to create some projects. We would be happy to help them, because this is how usually blockchains are doing. Basically, they are promoting and trying to encourage their community members also to build on top of them, right? So this is basically where the responsibility is also on you guys to be creative, to think about what else can be done in the blockchain space, and maybe build on blockchain. Why GameSwift chain? Why not? Why not? So this is how it is. I believe like right now we are heading in a better market direction, better market conditions. So there is a lot of opportunity also to think about something, entrepreneurial for you guys. Yeah, I don't want to reveal exact names. Probably you can guess some of them, but this is a part of marketing that we will be gradually revealing all of the names. And Pan has already mentioned about Layer Zero because this is a huge partner. Like when you see Layer Zero, you can track their bridge, track their website, and see who they are integrating with. Usually, they are not integrating with some debt chains, some projects which are not potentially good fit for them. So this is basically a huge achievement for us to be integrating with such a huge bridge, and that's a big achievement from us. So there are a lot of other projects like that. Obviously, maybe not majority of them are not as huge as Layer Zero, but you can expect that we'll be gradually revealing all of the names once we are lining up for the mainnet launch. But in the meantime, you can probably try to track some activities on our private blockchain, like the private mode of our blockchain, which will be going live soon, and see who is setting up some smart contracts on top of it.
I'm pretty sure that our community will keep track on that because they seem rather interested in not only the mainnet that will be coming in, but also the roadmap because, we have completed pretty much all of the points just looking back like 2 years, 1 year ago. Yeah, we've been working on it. We've been completing it. And what now? Can we expect a new roadmap? How far ahead the new roadmap will be, if there will be any. What about this topic, guys?
Yeah, so we're heading towards the major event of mainnet going live. So I believe this is the right time once the mainnet is live to announce a new roadmap. You can expect that we will be mainly focusing on expansion of our chain, of our ecosystem, because this is how it is. Like first, you try to build a blockchain, you try to connect all of the dots, try to provide a sort of sandbox for other projects to thrive in, and then gradually expand the ecosystem on new projects. Also provide some new tools, new features for them, obviously. But at the same time, the main job is done. The chain is live, the construction side is live, and everyone else can start constructing their own projects on top of that. Later on, we will be also, obviously you might be also wondering about other products which we are working on. So basically, I believe like GSWIFT AI is the most probably hot one, and this is the main, I believe, point of our roadmap also for the next year, to expand this feature, because right now we are just testing this feature. It's not easy. It requires a lot of resources, and we are pretty early in the space in this, because this is an innovative feature in itself. But ultimately, the plan is to expand this feature, and in the new roadmap, we'll probably put a lot of accent on this product.
Hopefully it will, because so many people are waiting for this
Yeah.
roadmap, asking for it recently. And speaking of recent questions and topics, we've got this topic that's been over and over and over again for many projects. The utility for the token, the new utility. What else will it be? And is it somehow related to the start of the mainnet that you just announced? Please cover this topic because so many questions are being asked about the utility.
Okay, so speaking of utility, This is like a very important point to address what is the current utility and what is the future utility. So, in my opinion, so far the utility of GameSwift was, let's say, designed to be pretty interesting, especially when I think about the airdrop utility, because there are not many projects within the crypto industry which allows you to basically stake and expect the upcoming airdrops. Probably it is Atom Cosmos, but let's be honest, the Atom airdrops for the very long time were not that effective. Probably Celestia. Also, Chainlink was supposed to be this kind of the project, but basically there are not many projects with this kind of the utility. And I know there is a meme of buy, stake, and forget. That's what I said, and I'm not going to, let's say, lie that it didn't happen. And sometimes you need to forget for even 7 months, because that's how long you have to wait it for the next airdrop after the Star Heroes. But in my opinion, that's a very interesting token utility. The next one is connected with the upcoming GameSwift blockchain mainnet. We do have the shared security vault utility, which is like for securing the GameSwift modular network. You can expect like the rewards from the protocols building within this ecosystem. And that's also a very powerful utility. Most of the blockchains, they rely on the let's say governance utility. For example, Arbitrum is not having any different utility than just pure governance, while GameSwift has both. Like, don't get me wrong, it is really exceptional that we are the kind of the layer 2 with our gas token. That's a very powerful utility, because this means every single transaction requires you to hold GSWIFT, not Ethereum. That's a very big thing. And there are not many blockchains to follow this path. Like even within Optimism, that's not very simple. Optimism as the layer 2, they also rely on Ethereum gas token, while GameSwift has their own consumption gas token, which is obviously like provide to the buying pressure for this token. What else is that we do have? We created the shared security vault with the utility for people staking GameSwift, and this is connected with staking them within the nodes. And by doing so, you can expect the rewards from those protocols. So these are like the three components of the GameSwift community. Of course, I could say that this is also governance, and I think that's fair, because like there are many protocols with governance utility where they don't have any governance votings. In GameSwift, we did have quite a few. And that's the very specific answer to your question. In the meantime, I'm reading the comments, and thank you for like your positive, let's say, reaction. We are really needing this kind of energy back from you guys, because we are also like we are very tired. I'm not going to say we try ourselves best, but the market cycle looks like it looks. And usually, first of all, from March to today, we had to experience a very tough bloodline for the altcoins. Now, when finally Bitcoin is back to the party, usually the capital flows firstly into the big market caps, and then to the lower caps like GameSwift. So I am positively surprised that GameSwift is having like positive price action today, because usually it is the matter of the time. First capital flows into Bitcoin, then to the large caps, then to mid caps, and then to small caps like GameSwift. So this is showing their relative strength. I see a lot of questions, guys, but please forget me and allow us to stick to the agenda, because these are the questions coming from you guys, and maybe by the end of this town hall we'll be able to be back to your questions from the chat.
Yep, just looking at a lot of those questions. We will be answering them in a moment. Just give those two guys time to do so. Bitcoin is having its time right now. We can see it clearly, and many people outside of the Web3 and crypto industry are seeing it. And as they say, retail is coming back to the game. Retail is buying this and buying that. What is your plan to get to retail people, to people from the street, to people not in the Web3 industry right now? Do you have any specific strategy or approach to gather retail into GameSwift? Please tell me more about it.
Okay, I'm not going to lie that I have a big temptation to answer this question ironically, because how am I supposed, like, how I'm going to communicate to retail? So when I thought about this for the first time, maybe I should like walk down the street and speak with the people from the street. But then I came to the conclusion that this is a very good question. That this at least pushed me to think how to communicate better what we are doing, and this is very important. This is like makes a difference between major project with a major narrative and lower project. For example, I think like Ethereum is a little bit struggling with its narrative, while Bitcoin is doing really well with the narrative within the ETFs. So to answer this question, how we are going to let's say convince retail to invest in GameSwift? First of all, we are not convincing to invest. Nothing that we say here is the financial advice. But what we can do is to structure the whole ecosystem in the way which is very easy and very, very interesting to the retail investors. But first, you need to ask yourself what retail investors are expecting from the crypto market. What is the driver for them to come to crypto? And in my opinion, it's all about the emotions, dopamine, about gambling, like the feeling that you can put like $100, invest $100 and make 100x. Exactly like Żywot na długą otoku commented in the chat section. They want to have 100x, right? And this is why in 2017 Ethereum was pumping that much, because Ethereum as a gas token was the entry ticket to the online casino of ICO mania. So basically all ICOs been pumping like 100, 200x, and Ethereum token was the ticket to this amazing land of big promises, right? And now on, we are experiencing the mania of meme coins. That's why Solana is pumping that much, because Solana token is now becoming this ticket to the promised land, right? And the way how we can convert this logic into GameSwift is very simple. First of all, by doing good airdrops, because this is a very interesting way of allowing you to stake X amount and to receive like rapidly like I don't know 30% on your investment. For example, that was the case with Star Heroes. When you staked GSWIFT in a good tier, you can get like even up to 30% of your of the value of your token staked within that tier, right? And the airdrops are part of this like emotions of dopamine which retail really need. But secondly, and this is connected with our modular blockchain, we entered the cooperation with the Pam.fan inspired project. Actually, like the lead developer of Pam.fan joined one of our incubated teams to build like the upgraded version of Pam.fan on our blockchain. And I'm not here to say that, yeah, we are going to be bigger than Solana. Now everybody will buy Beam coins on GameSwift. But I think this is important. I think we need to find the communication which is appealing to retail investors. And once you understand what they need, like airdrops, meme coins. We need to have both, and that's our answer.
Okay, it seems like we might be having some of the trends coming in to acquire more retail people. And actually, trends is the topic of another question. The community member asking mentioned that you always had good supporters, you always were one step ahead, for example, when it comes to creating the launchpad, when it comes to create the modular blockchain and stuff like that. So how do you exactly position yourself for the next couple of weeks, maybe even months, if you want to be ahead of the market? Do you have any specific plan, strategy that you can say to us right now? Do you have anything specific in mind?
Yes, and it looks like somebody is reading your mind, because in the meantime he wrote a comment that uh, you should like focus on building and not chasing the trends and narratives. And cool 8 guy, I really thank you for this comment. But because yes, that's true, you need to focus on building, and that's exactly what we've been doing, like for the whole bear market, starting from May 2022 until the end of 2023. We've been building really hard. We've been not chasing any trends or any narratives. We like focus on modular blockchain and gaming, and that was a very good anticipation. Like this led to the massive growth around the GameSwift in Q4 last year, because we anticipated what could be hot around the crypto scene. Obviously, later on, when we observed and also make a good prediction that AI could be the next big thing, we rapidly started evaluating what we can do around AI. So that's how GSWIFT AI started. For a long time, we've been seeking for a big technological partner for doing this. We came across Fetch, you know the end of the story. But my observation was that people didn't necessarily appreciate this let's say, maybe not pivot but new functionality. Like our label is that GameSwift is kind of the gaming modular blockchain, right? That's our label, and not many people like it was pretty tough to understand that, okay, so now they are doing something with AI. So even though we had all of those AMAs with Fetch, like we really in-depthly explained what we are doing together, still people like had a problem to associate us with another trend. That's why maybe you are right by saying that chasing trends is not all right. Um, however, I believe that how about trying to do so? How about trying to find a way? Because that's the biggest problem of the crypto market, that those trends are rapidly changing. And if you are not in trend, then you are on the losing position. That's the thing. So we have two options: either wait for gaming to be back, and I'm sure that Web3 gaming will be back to the party. There is too many capital. In the next question, because I know next questions, there is a question about whether Web3 gaming will be back, so we will be able to learn more about that. But the thing is that basically we could either wait for Web3 gaming to be back, or we can do something else. And I always try to expect from me more, and that's what I do. I expect more from myself, and to address this thing, we start to incubate projects from the most interesting trends. This is a very clever strategy, in my opinion. So if you cannot pivot your brand into the new trends, how about incubating projects from big trends, then convince them to give airdrops to your stakers, and in this way your stakers could have exposure for those hot trends. And that's exactly what we do within GameSwift incubation program. So first of all, your question was very specific. What are the next trends that I expect, that I anticipate? One of them is the AI agent trend. I believe that since with AI technology, you can build kind of the alter ego of every single influencer, of every single human being who, let's say, left something in the internet. So whether he's been tweeting, doing some Instagram reels, you are able to replicate him and to create the agent of that person. For example, you can create like the alter ego, the digital version of Elon Musk that you can speak with, which is thinking like him, which is saying like him, and which you can ask anything you want to know from him. That's why I see a big, let's say, potential within this trend. And we do have one of the incubated projects which is building around that trend. Another one is trend that I am expecting to be big this bull market cycle, is that I feel that in every single market cycle there was a big blockchain, layer 1 or layer 2, to build a dominant position during the bull market, not during the bear market, but during the bull market. So something fresh, something new, right? And I believe that this market cycle, this could be the Bera chain. I feel like Bera chain will be the next big thing, and obviously, this means that we cannot like forfeit our modular blockchain and now we are doing everything on Bera chain. No, that's not what we can do, but we can find and support projects from Bera chain and to expect the airdrops for our stakers in return. And that's exactly what we are doing. For now, we are having 2 projects like this. We are working on the third one. And since I expect Bera to build a very dominant position across, I wouldn't be surprised to see them in top 10, top 20 market cap. That's why I think like having exposure for the protocols building there is a very good thing.
But also the very, very good thing is that we are still focusing and not forfeiting, not giving up on the GS basics, and the really big partner that will help us to develop more and more into the AI segment is Fetch.ai, one of our biggest partners now. And the question coming straight from the community is, of course, will there be a new utility to the token regarding this matter? Will we have a chance of monetizing this partnership? What is this about? And the question about GS Force AI, is it somehow related in the partnership with Fetch AI? And of course, about the date of releasing GS Force AI. A lot of questions in one question, but let's go from the step 1 about the Fetch AI partnership. What it is for us and for the community in this partnership.
Yes. So first of all, I would like to address one misleading, let's say, statement within this question, that we are waiting for the better market sentiment with GS Force AI. That's not the thing. That was the thing with the modular blockchain. With GS Force AI, from the very beginning, we liked to say that this is a very complex product, which basically requires time to do it well. So that's the first thing. That's why I'm not going to commit to the exact date, except from saying that we are building it, and that's our major plan for the next year roadmap. What else is, what kind of monetization, what kind of the utility token can we expect around that? And I feel like the potential for this is very interesting. I wanted to say huge, like Donald Trump, but I am listening too much of him recently, so I can, from time to time, I can sound like him. But what I wanted to say is building decentralized marketplace for the AI computing power is the source of a very interesting revenue stream, because like anyone, we are supposed to work like a Tinder, connecting like two parties, those who are needing the computing power for the AI models and those who are willing to provide it. And by having fee on every single transactions from that marketplace, we can really generate a decent revenue. And like speaking of utility, this is also when you introduce like the redistribution of this revenue into protocol consensus, this is when you think about it, and the potential arising from this could be a very interesting utility. So that's our vision for now. Obviously, since this is like a long-term development, since this takes some time, I wouldn't be surprised to see some upgrades to the protocol itself, to the token utility. I expect a lot of like upgrades, a lot of pivots within this protocol, but pivots and upgrades into the right direction. But I think that I answered all of those questions. One more is that whether this cooperation is something more than the Twitter X action marketing. Yes, it is. Like at least I think even when you read like the X, let's say, announcement from both parties, you can read very specifically that we are working together on a big product. So this is like not necessarily marketing, but a very engaging and very complicated, complex development, and it takes a lot of sweat to deliver it. But in my opinion, the upside potential for delivering this is really hard to even imagine. I wanted to be specific, so I'm not going to be dreaming during this live. But once delivered, this could be a big thing.
I don't believe that anybody expected something less from the partnership with Fetch.ai, a really, really huge partner. So let's just wait, as you mentioned, for the results. And after that, we can have, once again, an honest discussion about it. Of course, in the fire of questions, we couldn't miss the question about Star Heroes, more specifically about the new CEO of Star Heroes. Will there be a new CEO of Star Heroes? And also the coming questions about other games. Do we know the date of Darkverse? Do we know something more about Mephisto? So someone is really, really interested about the gaming side of GameSwift.
Yeah, so when it comes to Star Heroes and its new CEO, I think like we should basically have a look at other projects in the crypto space, whether they have CEOs or not. I believe many of them do not. Like, for example, you might think that, I don't know, Vitalik is CEO of Ethereum, but this is not the case. This is a decentralized project. It has like, couple of probably people who are who have some more responsibility over the project, over the foundation, but ultimately there are also some faces of the project, but there is no CEO. So this is a similar, in a similar fashion, Star Heroes is being developed and is moving toward this direction. There are some reasons, obviously some regulatory reasons for that. There are some reasons that this is a decentralized project which is governed by DAO. So this is also the reason behind there's no literally, I would say, CEO, but there are obviously people who are decision makers. There are people who not necessarily want to reveal their names, but ultimately you can see that the project is being developed. There are new, features in the game, and obviously there are also some people who market the project outside, who are providing regular communication with the community. So obviously this is similar, but not necessarily CEO. Okay, so that's the answer right now. When it comes to other projects, gaming projects you asked about, so yeah, Darkverse, I believe the game itself is in the advanced development. You can see also some alpha versions of the games released and some sneak peeks of this version being released. So yeah, I'm not really familiar with the exact date, but I believe like probably once the market is stronger, especially in Web3 gaming, this will be a ready title, a title which will be ready to be released quite soon. And I believe like ultimately probably Web3 gaming at some point will also start trending. We know that, for example, Off the Grid is planning to release their token in the upcoming weeks, maybe at the end of the year. So this could be a good catalyst for the Web3 gaming to come back. So yeah, uh, so we can expect more and more gaming also projects being released gradually once the trend is back into the space. Because right now, for example, just today I saw a listing of a new project which is a great game, Blast Royale. I believe one of the best Web3 mobile game. It has 1 million downloads in the App Store and Google Play Store, and still the token is a little bit struggling. Currently, they have, I don't know, maybe 20 million FDV, something around it. So I believe like the market for Web3 gaming is still not that yet strong. So it's better to wait for those projects to release their tokens. But at the same time, the development is advanced. They have some ready products, or almost ready products. So this is a very important factor for that.
Yes, and in the meantime, we received some interesting question from Mukuzani, and I agree with the statement that basically, as Star Heroes is more like a gaming studio, and gaming studio needs a CEO, right? So don't get us wrong. Like Star Heroes has on the gaming studio level has the CEO, but since these are like the game director and they are like outside the crypto world, they don't want to, let's say, attend in all of those AMAs, crypto world, because they don't feel like being part of the crypto world. Like our team as is try to bridge this into the Web3, and that's what we are doing, right? But on the gaming studio level, this is like a tough, sweaty Web2 work of developing the game. And please believe me or not, but they have like a very good game director. In the meantime, I started the voting because
Yeah,
a lot of people are expecting Majutek to open his shafa, means wardrobe, and
I
we need.
have counted 9 yeses, so we need one more to proceed further. Um, yeah, that's a nice way to be breaking ice in the middle of the conversation. Yeah, do something funny. We'll do so right after the next question. I hear that we got enough yeses, so I will do that in the meantime. But I want to leave you guys with a topic. We heard about Star Heroes, we heard about other gaming projects, so let's focus on gaming, not so gaming project, because it's more like an Telegram app, a clicker. We are talking about Dogging Hood, about the recent airdrop and the future airdrops, because someone is asking what are the future airdrops and will it somehow accelerate the price of the token.
Okay, so two questions. What is when the next airdrop? The answer is pretty simple. Tomorrow, like literally tomorrow. There is a listing of AI agent layer. This is the protocol which allows you basically to create the digital alter ego, the AI agent of any single Twitter profile. So what the protocol is doing is they are kind of the combination of Pam.fun, FriendTech, and AI agent. So basically, they are like allowing you, like on the FriendTech, what you was able to do is to write your Twitter handle, and you could create your group and your keys that people can speculate on. Right here, when you enter any possible Twitter handle of, for example, of Donald Trump, Elon Musk, or even me, like a pan paragraph, you can write my Twitter handle, and this protocol is automatically creating your AI agent. So I know this sounds complicated, but this is basically the chat like anyone like who you want to replicate from the Twitter, who is like thinking like you, who is like speaking like you can ask the questions, you can enter the conversation. And for example, I tried this out because once we incubate something, we obviously want to battle test the product. What I found really surprising is that they presented me the AI agent of Pan Paragraph of me, and once I asked him some questions, he was like literally answering in the same manner like I do, like in a very similar style. That was like pretty funny to me. What I really like is that you can not only like create those AI agents, but you can speculate on them. So basically, all of them will be tokenized, like on the Palm.fun. The narrative that I see is that since like meme coins are exactly what retail investors are expecting, the source of 100, 200x, etc. But you need something technological which allows you to keep the token through like dips or like let's say big price increases, right? And you need to have strong conviction, you need to have something technological. So having like the combination of meme coin vibe, because you can like create meme coin token of every single person in the world, this is the source of speculation. But since this is based on AI technology, on AI agents, this is like having a very strong merit for you to hold. I'm not, and in this point, a very important disclaimer, I learned after the Dogginhood that I am not promising anything. So I'm not going to promise any gains. The airdrop is coming tomorrow. It is going to be what is going to be. I'm not building any expectation around this airdrop. What I see is that they are in a good trend, because recently Luna by Virtuals, they made a very nice price action. So obviously we want to have projects from the trends. And a lot of the AI agents are kind of in the trend. So I think that this is like the interesting timing. Second question was regarding the Dogginhood. So like first of all, and that's what I said during the last town hall. Once we support someone, we're really doing this regardless of the problems, regardless of the disbelief, as long as the team delivers, as long as the team tries. Because there might be the situation that one of the incubated projects is coming to the point that they like earned so much money that they are not hungry anymore and they don't want to support that project. Then in that case, we also don't want to support them. But I spoke with a Dogginhood team after their disappointing TGE, and one thing is sure: those guys are hungry. Those guys are really in the position when they want to prove that that they can make it back, and that's why. As long as they have this kind of the mindset, I'm going to keep supporting them. And today they have a very interesting, let's say, tweet. You can take a look at this. These are them hacking the McDonald's screener and doing a very soft rebranding. I really encourage you to take a look at this tweet. Why it's important is that's pretty interesting. So they realized that DOGIN stands for Department of Government Inefficiency. Why this is important? Mostly to this human being, to Elon Musk, who is like passionately tweeting about the Doge, which stands for the like Department of Governance Efficiency, and that's why the projects like this, for example, this is like crypto world is crazy. You know, you can build like GameSwift for 3 years for technology, but suddenly the Department of Governance Efficiency go live and they hit like $470 million market cap. That's the Doge, Department of Governance Efficiency. So what Dog in Hood is trying to do is to position themselves as the, let's say, beta play for the Department of Governance inefficiency. So they keep trying, and I think they appreciate some support. I also take a look at their chart today, so there is like some promise of let's say positive price action. We'll see. It is what it is. Regardless of that price action, they have my support.
All right, thank you very much. I'm not sure about the topic of wardrobe opening. Are we really doing this on the
Yes,
stream?
like
How to
that's another utility of governance tokens. So we need to respect this and open the door.
but like, do you guys really want to? I can do so if you really want to, because but there's nothing interesting, like some shirts over there and some jackets here and some t-shirts
Okay, okay,
there.
okay,
Like,
okay. I think you don't need to present everything. I think our community is satisfied. There is not you cannot find, for example, Jakub Skóra there.
no, no, he's in the other room. No.
I think a lot of people expected to see Jakub Skóra there because we hidden him in the wardrobe.
No, not this time, guys. Just just some my stuff. But if you are really interested, I can prepare some I don't know, Santa Claus for the next couple of town halls jumping out of this. But back to the topic, because we wanted to thoroughly meet you here and answer your questions. We had our little laugh. Right now, let's talk business. And by talking
Yeah.
business, our community most likely take it as the token and the price. And the question is regarding the big news or other things that will accelerate the price of the token. Do you have anything in mind? I do believe we touched this topic a couple of times today, but if you want to summarize the approach of pumping the token, then feel free to do so.
Yeah, I believe like I don't know, Pan. You
Yeah,
want to answer?
you could go on.
Yeah, but Pan has already mentioned that the big upgrade is definitely mainnet because it requires from you spending GSWIFT as a gas fee. So this is a great utility, and this is something not common for layer 2 tokens because majority of them, like Optimus, Arbitrum, they use Ethereum for the gas fees. And GameSwift is different. GameSwift chain is different. And this is also something which requires from us additional work, additional development, and additional time was needed for that to apply a feature which is not common among L2s. So using a custom token for gas fees. So this is why. So this is where we excel at. So you can expect that basically, as more activity will be on chain, on GameSwift chain, there will be more GSWIFT tokens required for transactions, and ultimately many of them will be either burned, either redistributed to stakers. It depends on the voting of the DAO. So this is a huge, I believe, accelerating aspect of the token value accrual. Other than that, Pan has already mentioned airdrops, also some potential for exposure to also to memes. So this is something which builds value. And apart from that, chart is what it is, but you can also see some great, basically some good sides about that. GameSwift is already listed on such exchange as Bybit, which is becoming more scarce and scarce for smaller projects. Like I would say that one of the biggest achievements is that our token is so far is that our token is listed, that the GSWIFT token is listed on Bybit, because right now smaller projects cannot afford listing on this exchange. It's become bigger, it has more users, and it requires more money on the listing fee than before. So this is a huge achievement, and this is a huge achievement for both GSWIFT and Star tokens. So I believe exposure to users of Bybit, and ultimately I see more and more retail investors getting now interested in crypto markets. I see that, for example, Coinbase application is going up in the rankings in the App Store. So similarly, Bybit is one of the top ones. So I believe this is also a huge potential catalyst for our token to get additional value and for the chart to start recovering exposure on such big exchanges. Yeah.
Of course, being a gas token and coming into the AI and memes side of the market is a strong point. But the next question is actually about the narrative of gaming, Web3 gaming. So, without the advice to the investors, without the aspect of the money in it, do you guys believe that there will be a narrative once again for Web3 games and Web3 gamers? And if so, then what will, start this narrative for the second time?
Yes, so I think, Professor, you are supposed to answer this question, but my response is pretty simple. Like, I I'm sure that Web3 gaming will be back in the same way that I was sure this back in 2022, when I was raising for GameSwift, I used to say that Web3 gaming is dead. It is not dead, it is at least having like some. Basically, it is not in the trend right now. It is at the early stage of development. But when I see like big IPs, big players coming to Web3 gaming, I'm sure that it will be back. And in the next couple of probably next month, Off the Grid might be kind of the title which will attract a lot of attention. But we are also working on, or I want to say something, but I, due to the agreement reasons, I cannot say more about that. But maybe let me say that we see big IPs coming to blockchain. So that's why I'm pretty sure that let those gaming studios cook, let them develop, because this is matter of time. Once they reach the next wave of adoption, we need to bear in mind that gaming development is a long process, and so far what we observe are the games who are developed for less than 3 years, and from the people who were like very bullish about crypto. Most of the gains came from the people who had a very big conviction. Why the overall game dev is still skeptical about Web3. It's really hard to let's say convince big experienced developers to build in Web3, but it is happening, right? So that's why I believe this is only the matter of time.
I'm hoping for the same basically, because I love gaming, I love Web3 gaming, and I want more and more people in it.
And in
Talking
the
about
meantime, I'm
gaming,
sorry, because there is one question which is coming back and forth about
yep.
sexes. Yeah, that's another question. So guys, we in this position, since we are listed on uh, most of the top sexes, I don't want to comment on the next listings, especially that, except from the fact that we are keep trying to get listed on even bigger exchanges. Obviously, please bear it in mind that none of a single CEO of any single protocol will say you that, yeah, we are going to get listed on this sex or that sex. That would be a breach of the agreement of NDA. So please don't expect me to answer these questions. What I can answer is we are not satisfied with only 3 sexes. We want to have more.
Yeah, that's great thing that you looked at the question from a chat, because I have pretty similar one that looks like straight from the chat from today's episode. And how are you going to establish a community on Angry Beras? Because you realize that most solid projects have communities built for a very long time, as for example GameSwift is still building. So what about the community on Angry Beras?
Okay, so first of all, please be aware that it is not us to establish some connection. We incubate protocols who have already established this kind of connection, but it doesn't mean that we cannot mm, introduce or provide some extra support. For example, for one of those incubated projects, it turned out that we have a very good network within a Berachain team. I don't want to say as specifically who exactly, but it turned out that one of their executives is the old friend of mine, and his support within the onboarding process for this incubated protocol was priceless. So even though that they were a little bit late to the party, they they received a massive support. And I can tell you one more thing: when you have like the ecosystem support from the insiders, you can expect a really rapid and fast support. One of our incubated projects, I'm not going to mention which exactly one, but recently released a post which went in like a lot of views, with one of the biggest engagement from any protocols building on Bera so far. Basically, I haven't seen a protocol having bigger engagement from the people on Bera. That it was retweeted by Smokey, by the CEO of Berachain. It was like quoted by the head of business development, by founders of the biggest protocols within Berachain. So yes, we do have the network and we know how to support those protocols.
Great answer. Thank you very much for that. One of the community members is very concerned about the situation for GameSwift, because he mentions that the price of the token went down, and he wants to ask, does it, happen to do any problems for the company? For example, did you plan an expansion or some other investments, and right now you need to slow down, or is it stopping you in some way?
Yes, so except from thank you for the comment, Pix 321. You wrote that we need to have like a strong mental to survive in the temporary disbelief environment. But this is the only problem with negative price action. The disbelief, some mental, let's say. Mental thing. I'm not going to lie that once I see like this kind of price action for the last 6 months, uh, I'm also always feel depressed. But the question was regarding totally different thing. It was regarding whether it affects our company development. And the question is very simple: no, no, not at all. Like from the very beginning, we are not relying within our budget on dumping GSWIFT tokens. In this point, I think this is also a perfect opportunity to address some conspiracy theories regarding like, because basically it always happened like with every single project there are some like conspiracy theories. For example, when Doggin started, one of the tweets that I seen is that like before the vesting started, like the team dumped like 100k of Dogginhood tokens. Obviously, that was untrue. They prove it with the exact transaction that was the bot sniping the liquidity, but it is always the case. And similarly, recently was connected with one of the team wallets activity. Somebody accused us of like sending 1.8 million GSWIFT tokens to the CEX, while it was never dumped, it was never sold. And so since there was a massive fat around that, we returned those tokens to the same wallet, the same exact amount. So that was a like big proof that this wallet didn't dump, because from that point he didn't receive any new deposits, so he was able to return this back in the same amount without like pumping the price in a big way. So that's important thing, that we don't need to dump GSWIFT in order to continue the development. We from the very beginning, I was like very conservative about our budget. I need to admit that once we reached in a Q1 $1 billion FDV, I started to count down the emotions, once our team was like very excited, I like to say that, guys, we need to calm down. When you pump like 15x, you need to expect some correction. I wouldn't expect at that point that this correction would last for 7 months until like now, but it doesn't change the fact that our budget was not connected with the performance of the GSWIFT token, um, and I think that's a very important thing. However, let's be honest, there are many teams who rely on the token in their further development. For example, like we are seeing like regular dumps from Ethereum Foundation, right? Some people are joking that there is a very funny meme that I saw that um, since Vitalik got a new girlfriend, from that point, like Ethereum been dumping a lot, and he's been dumping for her new, let's say, I don't know, Ray-Ban glasses or something like that. But this is like a very serious thing. Like big protocols like Ethereum, they need to dump in order to let's say provide development. And I am not like, I would say that maybe let's put it that way. If in like if like in 2-3 years we will like let's say overinvest in some sector, for example, we'll make some mistakes, there might be the case that that we will be required and we will be in similar position like Ethereum. But for now, it's not going to happen. Like we don't need it, and you can like monitor our wallet's activity, and you will not find anything like that. The best example is the operational pool. Operational pool had a linear vesting right from the TGE, and we didn't have to like dump those tokens in order to provide operations. So except from some marketing activity, we've never been in need of dumping them hard. Yeah, thank you. Long answer to a short question, but I hope that this satisfies you.
Pretty long answer, but it's a pretty long episode of asking questions and answering them in a honest way. So thank you very much. I'm sure that this very one person from the community right now, got the relief that, oof, okay, the team is
Yeah,
ready and they can,
we are not going to go sleep today, guys. This is today a YouTube marathon. Thanks for staying with us as well.
Mm. Yeah,
So
I know that some people are worried that we are not dumping tokens but staking them from the operational pool. At the same time, I would like to assure you that when it comes to airdrops, so the last airdrop of Dogginhood and the upcoming airdrop of AA Engine Player, the tokens which are staked from the operational pool will not be counted towards the airdrop. So
yes, and in the previous airdrop of the Dogginhood, they were not counted as well. So when I wrote that, read that question that maybe we should dump instead of the staking because we are going to steal airdrop from somebody else, it was the source of the laugh to me. But don't worry, guys, we are not going to steal the airdrop. However, I'm not going to lie, I have like my personal stake, and that's the wallet that I've been like claiming all the tokens from the very beginning. But this is like my personal investment, right? However, from the operational pool, from any like company pool, we are not taking advantage because that would be unfair competition.
Normally, I would suggest doing a pause after going for like an hour straight, but maybe we can just speed things up and go through the couple of last questions on our agenda so that we will address every topic that you guys wanted to ask to us. You ask the community manager, and the questions are coming straight right now. The next question. When account abstraction, did you guys do something in this direction? Oh, I don't know anything about it, so maybe someone smarter can address this topic.
Yeah, shout out to Mukuzani, because this is a very smart question coming from him. And yes, I need to agree that in one of the lives I've been mentioning like about the account abstraction around the GameSwift ID. However, during the development, like we pivoted without the idea how we want to, let's say, develop the GameSwift ID. So we rely on the easy authentication method with, like, you can sign up with the Gmail or Google account. And once you have your GameSwift ID, you can add your, like, MetaMask wallets on top of that. That's the current let's say utility or use case of GameSwift ID. I think it looks and it works well. So far we didn't came across like some negative comments with the way how it works. However, we are going to continue the development of GameSwift ID. We want to make it much more user friendly on and on. So once you get once you have some feedback, if there is something you think we should improve, we are more than happy to hear it.
All right, thanks for that. I do believe that we have a room for like last two questions, maybe three if we feel fancy. The one coming in is about the lending protocol, if I translate this correctly from Polish. So GS was supposed to start a lending protocol. Is it still in the plans, or
To
maybe even
incubate,
in the development?
not to do our own.
Okay.
I would like to clarify this, like, because that would be misleading. We don't have like resources to develop everything. So we do have, like, within our incubation, the RWA protocol building all around. Uh, they are like kind of the Web2 guys who want to do everything within the letter of the law. And so far, the RWA regulation, especially in the yield within the US, is very risky. And once they came across like the US regulations, they've been a little bit afraid that maybe they shouldn't do it on blockchain. And at that point, I was feeling like this deal might be off the table. I was really afraid of that. But once I see Trump to win president's elections, I feel like there is a hopium for this protocol to be back, because what he promised is the very clear regulatory environment for the crypto projects. And this is exactly what our incubated projects needs to operate fully legally. They don't want to go to Guantanamo, and unfortunately, with the current way of how US regulation looks like, the yield is very risky. Of course, there are some protocols like on the finance which rely on T-bills, but this is a different story. This is the protocol which is not relying on T-bills. And by the way, I also feel like on the finance is could have a very big problem, since T-bills yield are going to be due to the interest rates hikes. They could they will definitely lower the APY on those years, and I think they can expect a big outflow of capital. But that's kind of the something on site. Yeah. So that's the answer. They keep building and waiting for positive regulatory in US.
We are pretty much all building and waiting for better times to come, but sticking to building not only the products and the community. In the community, we have a special group that has access to GS Pay, and they are asking about the lives for GS Pay, about the updates, recent updates, like, I don't know, every month someone stated in the question. Is there a chance for more frequent updates and Q&As for GS Pay?
Oh yes, like so far it was like I need to admit that the way how it looks is that once the community like sentiment is like, when the next live, when the next OG call, then Michael Sky, our community manager, calls me, and I said, okay, let's do it tomorrow. If people are like disappointed, they feel that it is so basically we did it so far on demand, but doing something regular might be a good idea. And if you expect this from us to do it in the regular manner, I will ask Michael Sky, our sim, to organize regular GSP meetings once a month. Yeah, that's I think that's fair, and that's what we could do. Thank you for the feedback.
And if you want more regular and frequent updates, then you need to be subscribing this channel and visiting us pretty much every week, with some little exceptions. But sometimes the life happens. But most of the times we are here to be not only addressing the matters and answering to your questions, but actually presenting new partners, new incubated products and stuff like that. But for today, I do believe that we went through pretty much every question that we got straight from the community. Or maybe you guys want to address anything else. The mic is free and it's yours.
I think you skipped the question about the launchpad. So there was a question whether we are going to deliver the GSWIFT launchpad.
Oh, yeah.
So the answer is that we are very careful due to the regulatory environment in EU connected with MiCA implementation. Like, according to our way of thinking, introducing launchpad in this kind of environment within EU could be very risky. So we don't want to take that risk as the GameSwift. However, we want to do it, and our hopium comes from US and from Donald Trump. I would be really happy to see like clear crypto regulation. If we are going to have green light for this, I'm not saying no.
So now it should be officially every question that we got. You got me here. I missed this one in the list full of thoughts coming from our community. And once again, thanks to you, Pan, for answering them. Thanks for you, Lucas, as well, for covering important topics that our community just couldn't wait even a second more to get an answer to. And I do believe that you did a pretty good job addressing all of those issues.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. Now, time to move on. I hope that the next live we are not going to. We'll be able to let us focus on the development and really appreciate for your support, guys, because this is very important. Please also remember that once the Bitcoin is pumping, it takes some time for the capital to rotate into the large caps, mid caps. So when I saw that like Bitcoin is pumping while GameSwift going sideways, I was not surprised. While I think many of you could be surprised, because we like to forget about this rotation of capital. So large caps are pumping right now. We are waiting for the capital to transfer into the low caps, and yeah, let's hope for that, guys. Thank you for your tough questions. We tried to skip not a single one, and maybe we can do some regular episodes like that if you take it as a positive thing.
I would
Lucas,
like
any last
also
word?
to thank you guys, because I see over 100 people on YouTube, and there are also maybe hundreds on X. So this is a clear sign that our community is very active, and it's also concerned about the project and wants some active, answers from the team. So we are here to provide it for you guys. So yeah, happy to see that you care, because this is something very important in a relationship. It is nice to see that the other side is also cares.
Yeah, that's really satisfying, guys. And maybe one more fact, because I don't want to live this life without clarifying every single fact. I'm not going to sleep today, guys, because I felt like really painful. And Gligo Gligoresti wrote that my GameSwift investment is minus 87%. Imagine that you GameSwift team. I think that you wanted to thank you GameSwift team for selling the GS pay exactly on top. Yeah, like we couldn't find a good, like we couldn't like expect the price action. I don't know whether this satisfies you or not, but GameSwift team didn't sell GSwift on top. GameSwift team actually start its like 3 years vesting in August, September this year. So exactly on the bottom. So when you think that you are like the only one not taking advantage of like GameSwift being on top, we are also in the same situation. Like so at least I think like I feel even sympathy for you because we are also in the position where somebody else could take advantage of a very bullish GSwift price action.
And yeah, and I truly believe, guys, that for today it's enough of talking because we went through pretty much everything. And let's just end this day on this note and tomorrow go back to building once again.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys. And of course, see you tomorrow at the game night and see you the next week at yet another GameSwift Town Hall. Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.